Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up, the hills are alive with the sound of music apps. You knew I was going to do that.
I got Maria sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Plus, Vine tips, augmented driving. That's good for Sarah. And who wants that 128 gigabyte iPad after all?
All that and the private letters of one of rock and roll's greatest heroes on iPad. It's not you, on iPad today.
iPad Today is brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces from Citrix. The powerfully simple way to meet and collaborate with colleagues and clients anywhere. You can share the same screen and see each other face-to-face with HD video conferencing, even from an iPad. Sign up for your 30-day free trial today. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code iPad. And by the all-new Slingbox, which can turn your mobile device into a television. With the new Slingbox, you can watch high-def TV on your smartphone, laptop, or tablet anywhere there's an internet connection. Check it out at slingbox.com/twit. And by ice.com. Your path to a successful Valentine's Day this year begins with a Twit exclusive offer from ice.com. 25% off your entire purchase plus free guaranteed delivery. Get your big discount on fine jewelry now through February 12th at ice.com/iPad today.
Hey there, Leo.
Hey
How's
there,
it
Sarah. How you doing?
Did you just call me Thra?
Sarah.
Sarah.
I call you, and has anybody ever called you this, Petite Sarah?
Yes, in fact, I'm in a monthly potluck group, and that's my name to those ladies.
It's a little play on words because it's a wine.
And I'm small.
And you're small.
And we
you're
like
Sarah.
wine.
Yeah.
And Sarah is like Sarah.
Petite Sarah. So I didn't invent that.
You didn't invent it, but I think it's very adorable. Petite Sarah is a really good kind of wine.
It is. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Just like you.
You know, it's heavier than an actual regular Syrah, even though it seems like it would be
smaller.
lighter. It's just one of those things. It's a little wine trivia for you.
You know, is this going to be the iPad today that I've been waiting for all along, that we talk about wine apps?
No, but maybe we could do that tomorrow.
Next week.
Let's
Tomorrow?
do it. I mean, next week. Yeah, you want to come in on your day off?
Sure, why
not? Okay, that'd be awesome.
No, today we're going to do something even more fun, music, which is always one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, we haven't talked about music apps in a while, and there are new ones. There are some old favorites, but I think everything that we're talking about today is new to our show, or at least
I've never seen it before.
New.
Yeah.
And I think we should, I mean, the reason that I thought that this was very timely is because, of course, anybody who's watching this before Sunday in the U.S., the Grammys.
I could tell you exactly how long before the Grammys are on the air. You know why? I have the Grammy app.
Oh.
It's 1 day, no hours, 20 minutes. I think that's wrong, actually.
Yeah, because it's, because...
But why does the app say that?
Well, why does it say that?
I don't know. It says till the live stream, so maybe they start the stream 2 or 3 days before the actual show.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But this is the official Grammy app. It is free. And by the way, it's heavily advertising based. In fact, you can't even get into the app until you close, and it took me a while to figure this out, a big takeover ad on the front page. But once you do, you'll see there's the tweet stream going on, and you might want to have this handy when you're watching the Grammys on Sunday, because then that's one of the fun things. Is that, it's like the gossiping going on behind the scenes. You can see the award winners. There's videos. There's photos. You know, I thought there'd be nominees here. Maybe I'm just, oh, there it is. Writers and nominees. So you can see who the nominees are, not only for the 55th Annual Grammy Awards, which are right here, but also going back year by year. The Black Keys, Lonely Boy. Which is your favorite? Kelly Clarkson's Stronger. We Are Young by Fun.
I'm done with that song.
Did you like the Super Bowl ad with the Taco Bell one where they sang it in Spanish? Okay.
Sure didn't.
Somebody That I Used to Know, Gotcha?
Gautier.
Gautier.
Oh, Leo.
Thinking
you know
about
that
you.
song by Gotcha?
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
And then Taylor Swift, We Are Never Getting Back Together.
Oh, is that really nominated for Best Song?
It's nominated for Best Song. Taylor's going to sing on the show. I love her. When she performs, what I like about Taylor Swift, she can sing.
Like
they don't, sometimes you get these people on the Grammy Awards,
And they don't sound so good.
They don't sound so good because the auto-tune isn't working.
Right.
So that's part of the fun of watching the Grammy. Anyway,
No,
I like
mean,
award shows. It's award season. So.
It is award season. We've got some people who are watching us live in chat going, oh, the Grammys, are you guys even serious?
Sure we are.
I like the Grammys as well. And I think apps like this, you know, they're a one-note app. You're never going to need it after Sunday.
So let's play Guess the Grammys. So which one of those songs would you say should be Record of the Year?
I think, I think Gautier has a really strong chance because that was such a big song.
It was a huge hit.
Big song.
So I'm going to check Gautier. The album of the year, Black Keys, Fun, Mumford & Sons, I like Babe. Channel Orange by Frank Ocean or Jack. Blunderbuss was good too, Jack White. So you get to, this is a ballot. And you actually submit these.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so that's fun. And you can see the Target is heavily advertising on this. There's a little Target logo. And if you accidentally touch that, you're going to be sorry because the whole app goes away.
And then you go to like the online Target store.
Yeah.
Their music store anyway.
Yeah. So they're really pushing that, but that's okay. I mean, you got to pay for this somehow. It's free. This is the Grammys. The name of the app is Grammys with an S.
Yes.
And it is free, and it is just came out on the iTunes store.
Yeah, that's good. It's, you know, for a few more days anyway. There's also something that's a couple weeks old, fairly new though, and that is Rolling Stone's official iPad app.
I didn't know they had one.
Well,
now, is it just the magazine? Is it like a newsstand app, or is it more?
It's, well, I'll show you. It's, first of all, it wants to be like the magazine, so it's only going to work in portrait mode. There's Rihanna.
She's crazy in love.
She is crazy in love,
just plain
apparently.
crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She found love in a hopeless place. So if you go
I do like her music.
She's great. So this is the deal with Rolling Stone, and I can't believe that Rolling Stone, of all magazines, didn't have an iPad app a long time ago, just because it's been around so long. But it didn't. You can get either a month free, a month free if you subscribe now to a 1 month free trial, which is just one issue, really. So, you know, think about it that way. Or you can buy one issue for $4.99. So, you know, you really want to watch. I went ahead and bought just a single issue.
I think if I were going on a plane, I might do that. And,
yeah.
You know.
If you subscribe for a year, it's $20. So the more that you subscribe, I mean, if you like this sort of thing, if you're a Rolling Stone fan, then, you know, and this is kind of like how to use the app. There's nothing too wild and crazy about this. In fact, I've been reading the Spin app for many, many moons because I like music magazines, and Spin has had a great app for a long time. And there's nothing too, I think, unusual about the way that
Is there any
Rolling Stone.
multimedia in it? Like if I click Ray Lewis, am I going to see a clip of him or anything?
Well, no, not in this particular article, because it's just kind of, it's just...
Boy, that looks just like the magazine, basically.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now, there is some multimedia stuff in here. Let's see if I can find it. The thing about Rolling Stone, and I mean, obviously, we're looking at stuff there. You go, well, it's not very music-based, and Rolling Stone is
It's become
kind of been
really
like that
more
for
of a news
while.
magazine in some ways.
Yeah.
You know? And some great breaking news. There you go.
Sorry.
There's the happy-go-lucky Rihanna.
Yeah. So you can see, like, you can play a little bit of a track if you're reading about Jim.
Oh, that's
James.
nice. See, a music magazine and the reviews, they should have tracks from the songs.
Exactly.
And I would think a record company would love that.
Yeah, and then
because I know there's many a time I'll read a review in Rolling Stone and they say this is must-have album, great album. I'd like to hear a little bit and maybe even buy it from that review. They should make that free and just do that.
Because then it's a great impulse buy.
That's a
Because you're
great
like, I like
impulse.
that song. I'm just, you know.
That's often why I buy something.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Bieber softens up his swag. Obviously, if you heard a little Bieber, you'd be ready to buy.
Or gag.
I can't deal. I can't deal with that. Sorry. It's just not my thing.
Nice hair, though.
Sorry, Biebs.
What do they mean when they say softens up his swag?
I don't know what that means, Leo. I mean, we're definitely in a different generation than the Biebs. Now, if you're trying to skip around a little bit, or you're going back to a particular article and you just want to be able to quickly get there, this is sort of like our table of contents. They've got little thumbnails, so you remember, like, oh, okay, we wanted to go back to the movie review. And so, and it looks
I like that. Sex, lies, and antidepressants.
Boy, this is just a barrel of laughs, this issue of Rolling Stone. And then, of course, you could actually see the magazine. It kind of as it's intended, right?
I used to love that magazine.
Now, why you say
Many
used
moons
to?
ago. Well, I mean, I was a teenager.
When
I used to love it. Not a teenager, a young adult. But I agree with you. Spin kind of took over for it. It was that became the big music magazine. I don't know what people listen to or look at nowadays.
I actually think Spin, of these two, I prefer Spin. I think
it's more music focused.
it's more music focused, and they also have just a lot more multimedia. I mean, I can sit on the couch with my iPad and my Spin app and be airplaying like music videos to my TV.
That's what I want.
And that's really fun.
And that's a very good use, a modern use of a music magazine.
Absolutely.
Make it a way to listen to music, to discover music. And I think that's how it should be on an iPad.
Right. And sometimes the Spin, our writers will do little interviews, and there's a lot more video going on. So I think that that's cool. But if you are a Rolling Stone fan, if you're already a subscriber, I feel like this is just a really good way to be reading the magazine. And if you're not, you can pick and choose. You know, if $20 a year sounds like a good deal to you, that's fine. But you can just buy the issues a la carte as well, which is important.
As you know, I just came back from New Orleans, which is Music City, USA. There are a couple of towns, Boston, New Orleans, maybe Boston and San Francisco, where music really, I would say New Orleans more than any town. And it's so wonderful. And I got back into New Orleans jazz.
Yeah.
We went down Frenchman Street. Chicago, too,
Chicago's
yeah.
Pretty big music town.
Very big
Detroit.
music town. Yeah, but not in the streets, and that's what I like about New Orleans.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're going down, and you're going from 6th Street in Austin or Frenchman in New Orleans. You go down, and you hear every club along the street. It's got a live band playing. You can go in, you can sample the music. It got me back into jazz, and I was glad to find this history of jazz. This is an app for people who are into jazz. Music is your own experience, your thoughts, your wisdom. If you don't live it, it won't come out of your horn. Charlie Parker. Now you see this little piano key thing is different eras. So it starts 1890 decade up to the current decade. But let's go to 40s. So what we'll see is the jazz trends of the 40s. Bebop, a style of jazz characterized by fast tempo, instrumental virtuosity. Charlie Parker, the king of bebop. We press a button and we can listen to a little Parker, a little bird. Let's play that right here. It actually looks like it's a YouTube video.
If you haven't heard Charlie Parker sing,
but that's kind of cool, and I can go full screen on this. And as you can see, I don't know if you saw it, I can AirPlay it to my TV. So this is like the Spin app. You could be browsing through, you could be listening to the music on your stereo system as well as on your iPad. I'm going to skip ahead because I want to hear some music, not some guy. So this is a great, there was a wonderful TV show on jazz done by, the guy who did the Civil War.
Ken Burns.
Ken Burns.
Yeah.
This is not that, but it is, I think, it would be a nice compendium to this because you've got a lot of music. If you wanted to learn about jazz, there's Thelonious Monk, Charlie Christian, Kenny Clark. You could really learn a lot about jazz from a lot of different eras.
Well, I think jazz, particularly because there's so much history, it's hard to appreciate it unless you have a lot of this knowledge. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, when someone said jazz, I'd go, ugh, that's that terrible stuff that they play, in the supermarket, like cool jazz. I didn't get it.
Well, but clearly you weren't thinking of Xavier Cugat's.
Clearly I wasn't.
Bombshell from Brooklyn. I love this. There was a period where Cuban jazz was very, very hot.
Oh,
Cookie
awesome.
was one of the heroes of this. This is nice because you're actually seeing him play, unlike the Bird video. La Bomba de Brooklyn.
Let's do it.
Let's play it.
I've been practicing on my accent so much that it's becoming perfect.
It's kind of fun to see this old stuff.
Oh yeah, see, I love this.
This is not supermarket, man.
No way. This is like fun, cool jazz.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So jazz really means a lot of things, but this app really covers it all in many ways. I have to say this is a lot of fun. It's not cheap. It's $9.99. It's $10. But if you think of it as a book about jazz that has a lot of music in it, you're going to see
it's better than a book.
Much better than a book.
It comes alive.
And you really will learn about a lot of the major trends in jazz. We're now in the 70s with Weather Report and Al Di Meola and the Mahu Vishnu Orchestra and so forth. So that's called The History of Jazz.
The History of Jazz from 955 Dreams.
Yeah, there are a couple of these. There's another jazz almanac too, which I did not look at. But this one I was very impressed by.
Well, the same company, believe it or not, has a free app that I chose. Totally unrelated to this. Yeah, Band of the Day.
I remember that.
Now, Band of the Day, I have to say, we have talked about it on iPad Today
a year or two ago. It was a long time ago.
It was about a year ago. Yeah. So it's been long enough. So it's, there's a possibility that you're newer to the show than a year back or it's just good to revisit because it's a completely free app. So this is not $10 or anything. It's free, and it's great because it's all about discovering bands that are awesome, that have interesting stories, that are talented, and that you probably haven't heard about. I mean, if you're a huge music aficionado, maybe you have, but I mean, I pay pretty close attention to music.
Yeah, I look to you to find out what's hot.
Well, thank you.
Like, it's pronounced Gautier?
Gautier, yes.
See, I didn't know that.
Gotcha.
I thought, that's gotcha.
That's gotcha.
Gotcha.
Somebody that I used to know, but gotcha. Band of the day is,
if
honestly.
they had spelled it Ghautier, I would have said it right.
Right.
They obviously decided, oh, make it easier for Americans, we'll spell it Gotye. Got me.
Yeah, well.
So Band of the Day is a new band every single day.
It is.
And have they been keeping that up since we showed them a year ago? Like every day, you would have now 365 new bands?
Pretty much.
There are that many bands?
Well, it's...
In the world?
Dude, there are a lot of bands. There really are. And the thing about Band of the Day is, not only is it like, oh, okay, it's a new artist every day. So, for example, we're on February 7th right now. It's the Mastersons, a married duo bounded by a love of country music and heart-wrenching melodies. Oh, geez. All right, well, fine. So, you know.
I'm not going to listen to that one.
Now,
Airborne Toxic Event. Now, that's a great band.
I have heard of them.
Have you really? That's a terrible name.
Well, they're, you know, bands are running out of creative names, you know. Now they have to say things like Gautier and Airborne Toxic Event.
Do they have my favorite artist, Ka $, huh?
What?
Ka $, huh? Oh, she's great. I love her stuff.
Oh, haha. I see what you did there.
What? Ka $, huh?
Uh-huh. Kesha.
What?
Yeah. See?
Gotcha.
Yeah. You got me. So this is, okay, so just try to pay attention for 2 seconds. Just for 2 seconds. Snowblink, crystalline indie pop suited for snuggling up in frost-covered cottages. All right, that's cool. So let's say I want to know more about this band.
Now, have you been, since we showed this a year ago, have you been going every day and listening and discovering?
Not every day.
But you do frequently.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I think that's part of, if you love music, you're always looking for the next big thing.
Well, and the thing that's interesting about it is that I have not heard of Snowblink, for example, right? So you tap in, you see where they're from, and that's always kind of interesting to me because a lot of these bands, they just have...
They're all from Minnesota, actually. It's kind of weird.
Well,
are they from Minnesota? Because they all are.
Well, this particular band is
or Canada.
Well, yeah, the band started in Toronto.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A lot of Canadians.
A lot of Canadians.
They're good at the singing, apparently. Being America's hat and all.
I blame Anne Murray and Gordon Lightfoot. I think that's where it began.
Well,
sundown,
it's fun though because I just feel like if you are even mildly interested in a band, so many times they have a bit of a sob story. You know, they like worked in these horrible little bars for 14 years trying to get a record deal, and not everybody, but I mean many of them clearly love music because they love music, and the genres are all over the place. I mean, this is not just like, oh, it's an app for indie bands. I mean, they're bands from around the globe, some independent artists, electronica, country,
but it's
pop.
going to be kind of obscure, right? It's not going to be, you're not going to see big bands in there. It's going to be stuff that you've never heard of.
The idea is discovery.
Right.
Yeah. Right. We're going to turn you on to a band that you may not have heard of, but might be similar to a band that you've liked. So, for example, if I end up really liking Snowblink, Band of the Day can suggest similar bands to me. Now, and I can listen to, you know, they're just 30-second samples.
See, I like this. This is Snowblink?
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, she has a pretty voice. So you get the idea. So you kind of go like, okay, you could buy the album, you could buy individual songs. If I say I really like this, I basically want to bookmark this app or this band rather, I can Chad, if you show my screen, I can hit the little heart guy. So now I've saved it.
Can I go? I guess I could go buy the music. Does it link into Rdio or Spotify or any of this? Because I don't buy that much anymore. I will, you know. Listen to
it doesn't link into to music streaming services.
Only buying.
This is all iTunes stuff. Yeah. But you can also see, you know, this is the we were looking at the calendar view earlier. You can also look and see, you know, what kind of bands are at the top of the charts or that people have liked. So maybe you know, I'm paying attention to Snowblink and I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to, you know, the Fil Automatique.
I'm paying attention.
Well, that is a really weird body. I don't know why it looks like that. We could listen to these particular
Fonda. That's a good name for a band.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys have been around for a long time. You can see a little video clip here. I just like this. I think this is definitely for people who are really interested in reading about the musicians. The music is definitely there. I like this, yeah.
It's poppy.
Yeah, and you got AirPlay capabilities
poppy.
as well. Fonda. Yeah, so this is completely free, Band of the Day. We talked about it last year, and it got into the show again. We did. There's actually...
It was May 2012 that we talked about it last.
Really? How do you know that?
Episode 92. I have a photographic memory for
It's
this
chat, isn't it? It's
Yes,
chat
it's the chat
room.
room.
I'm actually going to talk about one more music app. It's for my app cap, and I'm pretty much saving the best for last, so just don't go anywhere. But in the meantime, if you want links to any of the apps that we mentioned, if you missed anything, or you want to revisit anything that we talk about on the show, remember that you can go to twit.tv/IPT. That is where all of our show archives live, all of our videos live, everything is on demand, everything is available to subscribe to so that you can get the show delivered to you. Look at Leo last week. He was so excited. It was before the game.
I thought we were going to win.
I thought we were going to win too. But let's not dwell on the... Let's think about spring training.
It was an awesome game.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got spring training, and then we got
the Giants will win the
training
World Series
camp.
again.
We can start all over
Everybody
again.
will be happy. The mission will once again be on fire.
Meadowlands next year.
It's going to be awesome.
Blizzard.
And a quick reminder, if you don't watch us live and you want to...
You do.
You do.
You
Why
really
not? 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Regularly, anyway. And if you have app ideas of your own, you can always shoot them over to us at iPadToday@twit.tv.
Frankly, because then we don't have to work.
Yeah. Help us to not work.
So I didn't bring my iPad. I was going to bring my iPad into the stadium, and then they warned you, all these warnings. Oh, don't bring the iPad, it'll slow down. But I was really hoping, because I wanted to watch Slingbox.
Yeah.
But you know, my friend from Slingbox, Jay Tannenbaum, was there, and he had his iPad, so I could, like, you know, watch the replays on the Slingbox. It was pretty cool. Slingbox, you know what Slingbox is?
I know what Slingbox is.
So the new Slingbox is here. This is the Slingbox 500. HD, basically it puts your home TV setup, everything you got, on the internet where you can log in with a password and see it on your iPad, your iPhone, your laptop, your Android device. So it's really, really cool. What you do is you get the Slingbox, you plug it into your DVR, your satellite or your cable box, that kind of thing, your DVD, everything that you have on your system. And then you plug it in, or you use the Wi-Fi, you connect it to the internet. Now, basically, you can watch your TV anywhere. It is amazing. The quality is incredible. High def, they had Wi-Fi at the Superdome. They really wanted to make sure it worked for everybody. And I think it was because people wanted to bring their Slingboxes and watch the game on their phone.
Was it nice and fast in there?
Tablet. It was really fast.
Wow.
It worked really, really well. If you want to know more, you can go to slingbox.com/twit. It's great for any event, big games, of course. But anytime, you know, you don't want to miss your show, you can control your DVR. So if you forget to record something, you just go to your Slingbox, fire it up. You even get the remote control that matches your cable or satellite box. So you get a dish remote control if you've got a dish, a DirecTV if you've got a DirecTV. That is very cool. And no additional cost because you're already paying for HBO and all that stuff at home. Why should you pay for it on the road? It's very easy to use. You get everything local that you would get even if you were at home, even if you weren't on the road. They've got the Slingbox 350 and the brand new Slingbox 500, which has HDMI, built-in Wi-Fi, and HD. It is super sweet, and I want you to try it. Go to slingbox.com/twit, or you can go to Amazon, Best Buy, or Fry's and pick it up for yourself. Just buy it. Just get it. Slingbox.
I'm sad that you didn't actually bring your iPad in. You were scared.
I got scared off.
Yeah.
And then when we got there...
Did they say don't do that because they thought that there'd be theft, or...?
No. They said you can bring a computer or an iPad. We don't recommend it because we're going to have to really scrutinize it. And it's going to take you a long time to get through security. And that was not true.
Right. Well, maybe it's not true because a lot of people left them behind.
Maybe. Security was very easy. They quick pat down. It was very much like going to a Niners game. Quick pat down and then through a metal detector.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you had a package, they looked at it. But they didn't pay any attention to any of my devices. In fact, they were talking about the fact that they had Wi-Fi in the stadium, and they had this very sophisticated setup. When you entered the perimeter of the Wi-Fi, it would look at your device, identify it, and decide whether it was a rogue device or a legitimate device like an iPad. And if it was, it would register your MAC address, and then you'd be on. And I even called Twit and from my iPhone and Skyped. And it was really cool. So I kind of wish I'd brought my iPad. It would have been nice to have that with the NFL app and all of that.
Well, you know, it's not every day that you go to the Super Bowl. So when
you know what I
Niners
brought?
start again next season, you got your Slingbox.
I was glad to have. I brought my binoculars. So that when Paul McCartney was sitting right there, I could just stare at him like that.
Yeah.
Did you know I was sitting next to Paul McCartney?
Yes, because you kept tweeting about it.
I couldn't stop. Jesse Jackson was right there, and Paul McCartney's like 10, 15 feet away.
Well,
Sir
hey,
Paul McCartney.
Sir, right?
I should have invited him to be on the show.
You should have. He could have talked about music apps.
He was very jolly.
Well, that's a...
I'm sorry,
That's
I
a
bungled
misstep.
it. I fumbled
Yeah.
it.
You fumbled it.
Fumbled the
Yeah.
ball.
It was an interception of...
Don't say that, please.
What?
Don't use that word. Interception.
Why?
It's a little sensitive.
Sorry. I know. Not good.
It was so much fun. I did record Beyonce with my iPhone, but I'm pretty far away. She was just a little dot down there.
Yeah.
You know, I am so musically insophisticated that when Beyonce's singing and the two women pop out of the trapdoors in the puff of smoke, I thought, oh, that's nice, more dancers. I had no idea that was Destiny's Child and this was like a reunion.
Well, okay. You know what, I'm not even gonna say anything because I don't want to hear all the Beyonce fans telling me what a hater I am. That's all I'm just not gonna say.
She gave a great show.
I'm sure
But there was a
great.
lot of flame, and some of the people thought that the blackout was because there was so much flame it overtaxed the air conditioning, and it threw a circuit breaker in the stadium.
Well, something happened.
Big fire.
Something happened. Hey, so Leo, did you know that, well, according to Canalys, which is a research agency, in Q4, in the fourth quarter of 2012, 1 in 6 PCs that shipped was an iPad?
1 in 6 PCs that shipped.
So
but see, I don't call the iPad a PC.
All right, so here's where we're gonna get back into this. Yeah, so I was wondering if you were gonna catch that.
Yeah.
They consider the iPad a PC.
Well, if you lump them all in together, then that kind of makes sense.
They say 1 in every 3 PCs is a tablet.
Right.
And so by that logic, about 50% of those is an iPad, so 1 in 6 is an iPad.
I think that's a meaningless statistic because you're combining 2 different devices and saying, well, that's the same thing. And I don't think an iPad is the same as a PC. I don't even think that they're mutually exclusive. I don't think they're used for the same purposes. It's like saying your iPhone is a PC. One's an inexpensive consumer device. One is a...
We were having this discussion.
Well, it's a computer.
Yes, that's
But I don't
right.
think for purposes of counting, it's good to mix them together. It's like saying, well, your watch and your phone both tell time. Did you know that iPhones are now outselling watches 2 to 1? Well, it's meaningless. It's meaningless. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of a good
It's
point.
a little bit of combining 2 different categories. It's not meaningful.
But the thing is that, you know, we're not comparing the decline of watch sales to the rise in iPhones, but what we do talk about a lot is the decline in PC sales. You know, PC sales are falling, all these companies are in trouble.
Well, that's relevant. If you say PC sales are down, which they are, like 20%, then that's relevant.
Well, Canalys is like, you know, honestly, PC sales are not really down.
It could
be that people are changing the kind of device that they're using
the implication
to do this
is,
stuff.
and I think it's a false causality, the implication is that the reason iPad sales are up is because PC sales are down. They may not be related.
You don't think so? You think that...
Well, they could be, but they may not be. It may be a false correlation. I mean,
do
you think people are...
I think
here's the question.
In tablet sales and the
people are buying
PC
tablets.
Sales are absolutely directly related.
Are people buying tablets instead of PCs?
I think they are because
then if that's
nobody
the case,
has, you know, unlimited funds.
You get a PC for the same cost as an iPad. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not about money.
Well, depends on what you want, though. You know, I mean, if you're going Apple, you can't.
You can't. But there are plenty of Windows PCs that are under $500. Plenty.
Yeah.
Or Chrome OS.
Right.
I don't know. What does the chat room think? Do you find yourself choosing between a PC? This is the question. Do people choose, you know, I have $500 in my hand. Am I going to buy a PC or am I going to buy a tablet? Do they make that choice is the question. And then say, no, you know what? I'm not going to buy a PC. I am going to buy a tablet. I don't think you can do everything that you can do with laptop that you could do with an iPad.
Well, you definitely can't.
They're
but
different.
then again, there are iPad apps that allow us to do things that we've never been able to imagine on a computer at all. So it's not so much that to me, it's not so much that iPad is more limited than a PC, therefore it isn't a PC. It's just different.
Well, and I'm not arguing the semantics of whether it's a PC or not. I'm really saying, is this a valuable or interesting statistic? It may be that completely independent numbers, that the PC sales are down because people don't need a new PC or they don't want to buy Windows 8 or whatever.
Right.
And or maybe they're too expensive. That's possible. And that tablet sales are up just because tablet sales are up because people like iPads.
Yeah.
That's a different product to me, but they like iPads. And I don't think they're necessarily related, is all I'm saying. And when you say a stat like that, it implies the one because of the other. And I don't think that's true.
Well, fine.
So there.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my logic.
Screw you, Canalys.
Well, I think this is one of those things where if you just read the headline, it goes, ooh. But then if you think about it a little bit, it's like, oh, well.
Well, what's interesting, too, is that these there's no standard. They don't have to count a tablet as a PC or vice versa.
Truthfully,
in fact, there's
Microsoft calls the Surface a PC, which is a tablet, the Surface RT.
Well, I think it's probably closer to a PC than any other tablet out there.
More so than an iPad.
Right now, because it can run, legacy Windows programs. And
No. The Surface RT, which is not,
the Surface
cannot.
RT.
They call that a PC as well. So Microsoft is using that terminology.
It's more of a hybrid. A lot of this is marketing as well. For what it's worth, there are other research firms that don't call tablets PCs. They break out those numbers.
I think when you do that, you're kind of diminishing the real importance of tablets in general and iPad specifically, which is it's a new way of thinking about computing that people far prefer. It's simpler, it's easier, they don't crash, they don't have any of the problems or complexity of a real computer, and they prefer it.
Yeah.
I don't think that they buy, if you need a PC, you need a PC. If you're doing Photoshop, you're not going to do it on an iPad. If you need a PC, you're going to get a PC, but people in general do like tablets better. So that just contradicts everything I just said.
I sure like mine. There's something that I have to say, it's almost like the bed test. This is totally G-rated. When I'm, kind of like, I'm done for the night, I just want to kind of get in bed, have a little light on.
You don't bring your laptop with you anymore.
No, and in fact, like, I don't really, using my laptop in bed makes me feel weird. Like, I'm like, I brought my Office to bed with me.
Yeah,
I'm
with you. I don't
like it.
I used to bring it. In fact, it's one of the reasons I like the MacBook Air is because it was light enough to bring to bed.
But there's still a little something about it that doesn't feel right to me. The iPad, I mean, I sleep with this thing. It sleeps on the pillow next to me.
That is G-rated. That's kind of pathetic.
Well, it's pathetic, but it's true. And I can't be the only one, right? Right?
You're like Mary Tyler Moore when you do that. So, but notice this keyboard that I have, the Logitech Ultra Thin iPad keyboard, turns it kind of into a laptop-y thing, but I would never bring this to bed with me. If I were going to get in bed,
yeah, you just hold it.
I would take the tablet.
Right.
You don't want a keyboard in bed.
Right.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting habits. And obviously everybody's got different habits. And by the way, if you bring a huge laptop to bed with you, that doesn't make you a weird person. It just,
It would if you put it on the pillow next to you.
With a little stuffed animal, kind of like holding it.
Oh, I'm so sad. You're making me so sad.
What? No, I'm not. Listen, I have a teddy bear, okay?
She can turn the world on with a smile. She could take a rotten day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile.
Only a few people are going to get that because, again, you're going back too far.
It's you, girl. And you know it.
See, I don't even know. I know what you're doing, but I don't actually know that song because I wasn't alive when that was.
You weren't. Wait a minute. You weren't alive when Mary Tyler Moore was on the TV?
Well, I don't know. What years were those?
Lord.
Mid-70s?
I don't know.
Because that's when I came around.
Doesn't she remind you of Mary Tyler Moore, though? Old folks, people who are old enough to remember Mary Tyler Moore?
I don't know if I like that.
You're spunky.
Thanks.
I don't like spunk.
Well, I don't like you, all right?
That's not your answer.
And you know who doesn't?
You're supposed
either?
to go, wah!
You know who also doesn't? Is
what?
Talman. He wrote in, Leo, you can actually stop using Vine in the middle of a recording to do something else.
You just home button it and then come back to it?
Yeah, yeah. It's just multitasking like anything else. Without losing your Vine project, when you return back to the app, the portion you've recorded is still waiting there for you to complete. I actually tried this out earlier. It's totally true. I never actually tried to before, which is a
so
little
when
silly.
Nick Bilton, for instance, makes his very elaborate Vines where he's popping corn, he could be using his phone and other things and just coming back to Vine for the second frame and third
Totally.
frame.
Yeah, I mean, I made a
I didn't
little
realize
Vine,
that. Okay, that's good to know.
A really, really dumb one. a little bit earlier. Profile, yeah. It was during Windows Weekly, and between each of these shots, I,
did something else.
Read some email and surfed Safari. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it turned out exactly.
So do you
like
still like Vine? Is Vine still as exciting as it was a week ago?
No. Well,
isn't it interesting how quickly these things come and go? Now it's just very quick.
The thing about and we got quite a bit of feedback from people. Sometimes people get a little bent out of shape because they like a social network, and you and I go, it's kind of
it's over.
Messy,
it's done.
And they go, why are you saying that about the app that I like?
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Vine. For me personally, I have not been compelled to take a lot of Vine videos over the last week.
I liked it at first. I was very excited by it.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
It took too much effort, frankly.
I think the citizen journalism aspect of it can be interesting going forward.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's kind of short.
Well, and I'm following, a handful of people that I know on Vine, and it's like, I see their usage dwindling too. And that's just, this happens with networks all the time.
They finally reached an agreement with Apple, because there was some question. Vine was initially, for some reason, making editors' choices out of pornographic clips.
I think it was just the one, but it did make editor's pick in a lot of people's
One's enough.
Yes.
And Apple immediately took their selection, they made it their editor's pick. They took that back.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a little back and forth. And now Vine, you might notice when you install it, says 17 and up. It has that little warning that anything that accesses the web will have. And that, by the way, I think is a smart way for Apple to do it. At first, I was a little concerned about censorship. We talked about this with 500px. What Apple's doing is saying, look, developers, flip that switch that says it's 17 and up. That way, we can put it in our parental controls. We can control it if kids could see it. And then you don't have to censor yourself application. You don't have to eliminate all the pornographic vines if you don't want to, but you just have to let people know that it's 17 and up. And I think that was
Tumblr has also been required to do that.
Tumblr can be very graphic.
And the thing is, the argument is people say, well, so can Twitter. If you search for certain things, you just click through a link, and that's totally true. And Apple is getting into a very weird gray area. Well, Apple sort of always has been, but because Tumblr, we sort of go, oh yeah, there are a lot of Tumblr blogs that are dedicated to nudity and stuff like that. And you don't necessarily equate that with Twitter the same way because there's just less emphasis on photography. But Twitter would like there to be more emphasis on photography.
Right.
They have freaking photo filters in their iPhone app.
And as we've mentioned, Safari can go to any of these things.
Any of these. So it's like it's not really a very good argument.
The iPad. No,
it's
just
feel
that
like you're getting
Apple with
out.
Safari and everything else puts it in their parental controls. And
Yeah.
a developer who's going to put an application on the store that doesn't have to, but can access more adult material, needs to put that switch in there so that Apple can add it to the parental controls. And I think that's a good way to handle it. So if you're a parent, you've got an iPad, you want to give it to a kid, you turn on the parental controls, say nothing 17 and up, and none of that stuff will show up. Those apps will no longer be functional. They can't add those apps. They can't search for that kind of stuff in Safari. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Right.
It just gives parents control. It doesn't give adults who want to access that stuff. You still can use Tumblr and Vine and anything else you want to use.
It doesn't.
I think it's a perfect way to do it. Pulling it off the App Store was my problem, but I understand now why they did that.
Yeah. There may be questionable content. That is just the reality of it. We got some feedback from a few episodes ago. Remember when you showed off Battle Cats?
Yeah.
You were all excited about Battle Cats.
Yeah.
And we both sort of said, I don't know where this came from.
Well, it came from Chad.
Well, it came from Chad, but sort of just, is it based off of anything? And somebody wrote us, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry, said I was catching up on the episodes and I saw that you had mentioned Battle Cats and that it wasn't based on anything that you knew of. And I think it's based on an addicting game that's at addictinggames.com. I think it's Nickelodeon related, called Age of War. Says, I used to play this. It might spoil Battle Cats for some, but since Age of War isn't available on iTunes, it may be an okay substitute.
Chad, is that true?
Chad hadn't heard of it. I asked him.
So I hadn't heard of it, but this is the game that
it's similar. There may be a lot of games kind of like this.
Yeah, exactly.
I've played games in this genre, even iPad games in this genre before, where you have an assault and you have to defend against the assault. I think that this is just a genre, not that it's based on this. But it's very Battle Cat-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer the cats.
It's cavemen instead of cats. Yeah, I like cats better. Cats are cuter. Okay, enough of that.
Yeah. All right.
That's Age of War.
That's Age of War. It's at addictinggames.com. And again, it's not actually an iPad app. This is just something that you play through your browser. So, Leo, remember also a few episodes ago when I had this great idea to do some sort of an iPad-focused food thing, and you were like, yes, let's do a food show. It's going to be so awesome.
Dinner and a movie?
Well, that was your idea. It was.
Actually, it wasn't. It's an actual TV show.
But that was your idea.
Of what we should do.
Of what we should do.
Yeah.
But I have,
You're still thinking?
I'm marinating.
I'm ready. Yeah, marinating is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Stewing would be a good word.
Stewing would be a good word. Or, as Jeff has suggested, perhaps a show new to the Twit Network called Appetite Today.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I do too. That's really good.
Or just appetite.
Or just appetite. Appetites. Appetites.
Appetite.
That's so good.
I like it.
Jeff, you're amazing.
Brilliant.
Appetites. So
Should be an app show.
Well, it doesn't.
Food app.
It doesn't have to be an app show.
No.
But I think that that's a play on words that it could
like
be something
it. There's
food
something
related,
there.
but there's also internet and tech and that kind of thing.
I got some stuff in New Orleans it's really good. It's like a seasoning salt.
Yeah.
It's called Slap Ya Mama.
Is it really spicy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's good. I like it. In fact, I am now putting on everything I eat. I slap your mama on it, right on it.
Is it salty?
It's very salty.
So
but
it's
it also
salty
has
and
cayenne pepper, black pepper, salt. It's good.
Oh, see, that's the sort of thing I would use that
Cajun
as a rub
seasoning.
on fish.
You could rub it on anything.
Oh, well, maybe there might. Yep. Nope. Nope. Hey, so
next on Appetite.
Appetite.
Slap your mama.
Some's there. I've got. We got to figure it out. It's gonna be good.
We went to a store, New Orleans cooking school.
Yeah.
And a care package should be arriving next week of stuff. Beignet mix.
Oh, good.
Rubs.
Oh.
A package of hurricane mix. We got a ton of stuff to give this the New Orleans feeling here.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
if only we had an oven and other ingredients.
Do you think now? See, we have a microwave in our Twit kitchen. We have a dishwasher. We lack a stove and an oven. Do you think we should have a stove and an oven in there?
Well, I think
we have a refrigerator.
We do. Toaster oven goes a long way.
Do we not have a toaster oven?
No, we have a toaster.
I'll bring a toaster oven.
But a toaster oven can do more. Open face. And that
then
sort
we
of
can
thing.
do appetites.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do it in that kitchen. But
do it at your desk over here.
Sure, yeah. Will you
Apparently, Ayaz and Tom no longer come in. You can have the whole space.
Well,
it's all yours.
Oh, that's Tom. Now. Yeah, I could make it my new little kitchen.
That's your office.
It's my office.
The whole thing.
Great. Wonderful. We have an iPad star of the week. This is Lauren's 1-year-old Great Dane puppy who loves iPad Today. And I just want to say, not only is I don't know.
That's a puppy?
Well, it's a Great Dane.
Holy
So it's a very big puppy.
Yes.
I don't know your name, puppy, because Lauren didn't tell me. But I think it is very telling. They say Great Danes are very sweet and sensitive dogs.
Yeah.
And Lauren's puppy is watching last week's episode when we were talking about car safety apps.
Oh.
Because we were talking about my little accident and how we should all be safer. And look at how concerned puppy is.
Well.
Because puppy cares.
See, this is,
Leo, don't try to pass this off as just some coincidental photo.
Sometimes pet owners ascribe feelings and emotions to their animals that perhaps aren't actually there. He could be thinking, God, I wish I had a steak right now.
No
he could be.
way.
Look at that. Isn't that what
He's saying, I'm so glad that Sarah's okay.
He's saying, bacon. I want bacon.
Oh, it might be a girl.
She's saying,
there is a flower collar involved. It's probably
I like
a little
that
lady.
collar. It's very cute.
Very cute. Please keep sending your animal photos in. One of us appreciates it very much.
I love animals.
Animals. Your dog is even running around here.
My dog is here.
Somewhere.
He's a mammal.
He's a mammal. He's
Yes,
a
he
manimal. Is he there?
No.
Oh. That's just your mom.
But a little beverage. I'm going to have a little beverage now.
Please do.
Just the thought of slap your mama and bacon together at last just makes me thirsty.
Okay. Well, because there's too much sodium that you're taking in. That's what.
This show is brought to you. Should I do that now?
Yeah.
This show.
Yeah.
You see, we have this nonverbal signaling system.
Yeah, it doesn't work that
doesn't
well,
really
but
work.
we have a system. works about as well as our toaster oven.
She does the Colin Kaepernick kick. And I go, oh, time for a commercial.
Yeah.
We're brought to you today by GoToMeeting from Citrix, the powerfully simple way to get business done even during the winter. You know, Snowpocalypse 2 is coming to the East Coast.
Yeah, I've heard.
2 to 3 foot blizzard.
Whoa.
I'm getting I just got a warning on my iPad. I don't know if you saw it during that last segment. Well,
I did, actually.
That means business comes to a grinding halt, right? Except in many cases it can't. That's where GoToMeeting is great. You can stay home and meet with clients and colleagues. Flight canceled, no problem. Roads closed, no problem. Even if you're not feeling quite up to it, you can do like Ayaz did today on TNT and just use GoToMeeting. They've got HD faces. You could see your crystal clear, shining face. You've got screen sharing, so you can work on documents together or make sales presentations. It really is a great way, to, in the winter especially, to get business done when Mother Nature is not cooperating. Just a link and you're in a meeting with your webcam and everything. In fact, you can even, and I love this, present from the iPad. So, you know, somebody starts a meeting, and you're in the meeting and say, well, let me show you those figures. You can fire that up on your iPad and share your screen from the iPad. They see you on the iPad camera. It's really great. Don't need a separate phone bridge. It's all built in. Although, I should mention, with the GoToMeeting subscription, you do, in fact, get a telephone phone bridge as well. GoToMeeting.com. Here's a way to try it free for 30 days. Visit GoToMeeting.com. Click that orange Try It Free button there and use the promo code iPad. Snowpocalypse time. Maybe time to get GoToMeeting on your computer today. Remember that promo code IPAD. I think you're going to love it.
You know, that's a very good point. Weather keeps us from our offices sometimes.
Yeah.
Not so much in California.
Well, but
there
see,
was
we
a
do
light
business
drizzle
with,
on the way to work today.
We do business with people on the East Coast, though,
Yeah.
and sometimes you still need stuff to go on. You know?
Absolutely.
Bear is in Pennsylvania.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Spiro's up in the Pacific Northwest. He's in Vancouver, BC. We've got people all over the country working with us. So you know, Dan is in Minnesota. It's probably snowing in Minnesota.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we've got some more viewer feedback. We got quite a bit of viewer feedback.
Did we just really
this week.
blow it last week? Was that what happened?
No, it's not all bad. It's just everyone's got ideas. You know, I have to say, by the way, to all of you who send in app ideas each week, you know, when we don't use them, don't get discouraged. It's so appreciated. It's just, you know, we only have really just over an hour in the show, so we can't fit everything in there. But I make notes of everything. So,
she reads
thank
everything.
you.
Yeah.
I definitely do read everything. Leo reads very little.
Nothing.
But when it's really good, I do forward it to him.
And then I don't read
because he has
it.
a secret email that he doesn't read. Oh, all right. Well, that didn't work.
I do not. People think I have a secret email. Like, if only they could get that secret address, then I would read their email. No. I don't read anybody's email at any address.
You read my email.
Your email. I use the VIP feature, and you're a VIP.
Well, aren't
Did you know that?
Sweet?
There's only have a handful of VIPs.
Well, you can't have too many, or they're not very important after all.
Right.
You know, that's
what
kind of
I
how
need
VIP
is a second
works.
tier, like semi-important.
Right, yeah.
No, you're a VIP, so I do see your mail because it goes right into a special
Sure.
box. And
well, I'm not like writing you and being like, hey, Leo, what are you doing? I'm writing you about show-related stuff. Otherwise,
I check my VIP
I keep
inboxes.
the dumb stuff for when we're live on this show.
I check them all the time, and I keep hoping you'll send me an email just saying, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Want to go out? Hey, Andrew Smith wrote us and said, I know you covered car safety apps last week, but I felt you needed to see this one called Augmented Driving by, I had originally read it as Imaginize. It's Imaginize. That's the name of the company. The app is called Augmented Driving.
Ooh.
He says, after setup, it'll warn you of closing in on another vehicle and of lane drifting. Give it a go.
Wow, that's kind of like the Bliss thing in the Ford.
A little bit.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing.
Does it work?
First of all, this is an iPhone app. So you can download it.
That makes sense, because you don't want to mount the iPad in your
That would take up a lot of
Yeah,
room. Yeah, because you kind of want to mount it under your rear view mirror.
It has to look out the window, obviously.
And so this is an iPhone app, but it certainly works on the iPad. Now, a little disclaimer that you'll get every time that you load it up, which is basically saying,
don't do this.
Yeah, basically, it's sort of like, it's not designed to replace any onboard safety or assistance systems, blah, 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 blah.
It's really just a game.
It's just fun,
it's
sort of like
technology demonstration.
Yeah, does this work?
Wow.
Now, what's interesting, and then, you know, they got a warning here. They want to be really careful that they don't, you know, upset
They don't want to
people
get
too
sued.
much. Yeah, exactly.
Now, I can see a problem right now. You're not going 61 miles an hour.
Well, no, I'm going 0.
Oh, well, what's that speeding 61 miles an hour? That's if you were going 61, that would be speeding.
Right, yeah. That's
Oh, it's calibrating right now.
Exactly. Now, I'm not going anywhere, so, and what's kind of weird is like my time, there's a little bit of flashing going on here, so I'm not exactly sure, you know,
what is that?
What's going on with that. But if I wanted to, whoops, I didn't mean to record just then. I want to go into my options. Now, this is a variety of stuff that I can.
This is cool.
Yeah, I can kind of
set. This is a HUD like what I was showing last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say, like, lane detection, do I want just a little sound?
Lane detected.
Or if I want a voice, she kind of sounds like she's, I don't know, Polish or something. Speeding avoidance.
Moving traffic detected.
And so you can set all of these.
This is great.
These sound settings, yeah, and you can read a little bit about how it works. There was a little bit of a tutorial that I went through when I first loaded up the app, and it's, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to mount my iPad. I haven't actually used this, although Andrew Smith has. So if anybody has used this app, or at least something like it, and you've actually mounted it in your car and you found it, you know, maybe it's not really, you know, an actual safety feature, but helpful and maybe entertaining, just see if it works.
I'll try it on my iPhone and my...
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea. It's a heads-up display. Well, actually, it's not a heads-up display. It's augmented reality, so it has a camera and you see through the camera. You wouldn't want to put it in front of you, though. You put it down to the side, probably. Yeah,
well, you're basically supposed to put it in the middle of wherever the car is.
Ah, like right under the rearview mirror,
yeah,
or maybe even behind
like
the rearview mirror.
Although I did earlier today, I was walking around with my iPad as fast as possible.
Just to see?
Just to see if it was like,
Did you exceed the speed limit?
No, I didn't exceed the speed limit, but I went at one point about 4 miles per hour.
Did you really? So you walked around with it? That's cool.
I was booking around, yeah.
That's really, when were you doing that? I didn't see that.
It was during Windows Weekly. You were busy talking about
You were so busy
Surface
during
Pros.
Windows Weekly.
Uh-huh.
You really weren't paying attention, were you?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like you were doing a lot of other things.
Like what?
Like preparing for iPad today.
You mean instead of listening to Windows Weekly? I can do it all. That's the great thing. That's what the iOS has taught me is the art of multitasking.
Vince says we need footage of you running around at 4.1 miles an hour.
I looked pretty stupid. Yeah, I almost ran into someone from Pixel Core at one point. I don't think they thought it was very cool. So this is you know, this is sort of what you would do in a car. Obviously, iPhone makes way more sense.
Please be careful doing this. This looks so dangerous.
Well, and yeah, this is. As you can see, you can tell that that's a person in the passenger seat.
Good, as it should be. Oh yeah, she's on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of fun though. I had not heard of this. It's $2.99. There is a free version, but it is not fully featured. So if you're interested, and again, if you have experience with it, do let us know. Got a voicemail from Jim. He called in with some thoughts about that 128 gigabyte iPad we talked about last week.
Okay. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Sarah and Leo. This is Jim from Connecticut. Just want to make a comment about the last iPad today, talking who would need it. That is a lot of storage, but I think the key is if Apple gives us more functions, more functionality, I guess you call it, with the iPad, to use it more like a laptop. For me personally, it is my laptop. I travel with it. I'm lucky enough to be able to do everything I need to on that when I travel. But if Apple gives us more functionality to make it more like a laptop, transfer files, whatever, then the 128 gigs would be worth it. But you're right. As of right now, I think 32 or 64 is plenty. Love the show, guys. Bye-bye.
So he's saying if he were able to use it more like a computer, then he could use that extra space. But as it is right now, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that makes sense, though. Yeah.
But it's not a computer. That's kind of my... I mean, it is technically a computer, but it's not meant to be used like a laptop.
But he says, Jim is saying, this is something that I can use exclusively all the time.
But you can't yet.
but he says he is.
Yeah, we know plenty of people. Mike Elgin pretty much uses his iPad exclusively. He doesn't use a laptop. There's a lot. People come on Twitter all the time now with keyboards and iPads and not a laptop.
Sure. It totally depends on what you're doing. I do think, though, that it's like, as people, some people, the people who figure that not only do they like the iPad, but it can replace their regular computer, they're going to need more and more storage. Well, it also depends on how you use the cloud and all sorts of stuff like that.
You know, it's funny, the big controversy over the new Surface Pro, the Windows tablets that just came out or are about to come out Friday,
right.
Don't have as much free space as people expected. So if you buy a 64 gig Windows Pro, it's only got, I think...
Like 40 or something.
Yeah, less, yeah, around, say 40 gigs free. About 32 gigs are used, so it's actually even less than 40. It's like 32 free. If you buy the 128 gigabyte, they do have a 128 as well, you've only got like 68 gigs free. So, and people are complaining, saying, that's not enough, I need more. But I think Microsoft thought, you're going to use SkyDrive, which is their cloud, iCloud, and you're not going to be storing stuff on the computer. In the same way, it seems to me that really the only reason you'd want a 128 gigabyte iPad is because you were in the airplane or somewhere, and when you wanted to have everything local, all your content.
Or you've got bloated apps. I don't mean bloated in a bad way, but an app like GarageBand. Like, you can take up a lot of space on GarageBand.
If you start recording a lot.
Yeah, if you want to, or a variety of some of the
that's a good. There would be a good
video filter
reason.
apps that we've talked about.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, you can. It just depends on what you're using it for. You know, I think, frankly, Microsoft has a real branding issue because they want people to think of the tablet as a computer alternative. Right. But at the same time, if you bought a computer with a certain amount of, you know, storage, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I thought I was getting this many gigs, and I'm getting, like, people get mad about that sort of thing. So it's like, you can't really have it both ways.
It did seem odd that you would lose 30 or 40 gigs to the operating system and extra stuff.
And of course, yeah,
it's an awful lot.
It depends just on, you know, focus on what you need to do rather than how many gigs you have out of the gate.
I remember when a 2 gigabyte hard drive was a big deal on a computer.
I remember when I got my first 2 gig hard drive, and it was like,
huge. What
am I going to do with this huge empty land?
They're using almost 40 gigs for the operating system, and it doesn't even come with Office.
Yeah.
It's what are you putting on there? That's 40 gigs. It's huge.
It's huge.
Everything's bloated these days, I guess, and that's maybe why you need a 128 gig iPad.
It's because everybody's eating too much bacon.
Yes, that's probably true.
That's right. Roger had another question on the subject of the 128 gigabyte iPad that he wanted to ask us. Roger?
Yeah, this is Roger from Queensbury, New York. I was wondering when Apple is going to release a 4 terabyte iPad. That way I could put all my music on it, and I'll have maybe like 112 megabytes left over.
He's got too much music.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I was just wondering when they're going to release that.
Well, Roger, you've come to the right place. We obviously have the answer.
No.
4 terabytes.
You know,
have you considered iTunes Match?
The thing I really want to point out is that one of the things that Apple, and it may be the reason they did this, Apple gets with a 128 gig iPad is profit. Because they charge you $100 to go from 64 to 128 gigs for about, I think it was $10 or $15 worth of extra storage that costs to them.
Yeah.
So it's just a bigger profit item.
Right.
So they're just, I think that they think, sure, if we could make that much, but they'd have to, what did he say, 4 terabytes? They'd have to charge you a little bit more.
4 terabytes?
Let me see, wait a minute, now it's $100 every time we double.
Okay.
So we're saying $500 for 16, $600 for 32, $700 for 64, $800 for 128, 256 would be $900. 512 would be $1,000.
Yeah, we got a ways to go.
A terabyte, I'm sorry, would be $1,100. 2 terabytes, $1,200. 4 terabytes would be $1,400. That's actually not that bad. I'll take 2. $1,400. That's what Apple would charge.
Roger, you can have the other one.
And it's a lot of profit in there.
Apple, we know you're listening, and the users have spoken. 4 terabyte iPads. Everything on board. Screw the cloud. Doesn't make no sense.
Put it all on the iPad. Then when you lose it, you can really cry.
Yeah. Brian Duggan made us a very creative video. You'll see what I mean momentarily, and also has a very popular question.
Hi, Sarah and Leo. This is Brian coming to you from Haiti. I travel all over this hemisphere and all I carry with me is my iPad. And I love the idea of Siri, but to be honest, I don't really know how to get the most out of it. So I was wondering if you could do a little segment on some of the best tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Siri. Thanks.
So, Siri. Are you using Siri regularly?
No, I don't even use it on the iPhone.
You don't?
The only thing I use it for is dictation. But there are, there are more and more. The most recent update of iOS, well, the second most recent, had a lot more features on Siri. I mean, they're starting to be smart.
What I like about Siri, Brian, is when I am driving or otherwise not able to like fiddle around with my phone, I can make an appointment for myself.
Right.
Or I can, call up somebody. Call mom.
Chevys. There are a couple of Chevy models that have Siri integrated. Honda's announced they're going to do that as well. So you're going to see Siri in cars as well.
What I also have been doing lately, and this is, I mean, it makes me seem like I shouldn't have, even passed, basic arithmetic, but I've been shopping for a car.
Yeah.
I know there's all these like, well, if it's a certain year lease and there's this much money, like,
what do
how's
you
it
say?
gonna be?
You say into Siri, what do you say?
Sometimes I say things like,
what's the annual payment on $53,000? Something like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've stumped her a couple times, but sometimes I'm just like looking to.
Let me try this.
To multiply some stuff, and it's like I could quickly pull up my calculator, but I might as well just ask her. She'll tell me the answer.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's great for math.
Who won the Super Bowl? See if she knows that.
Baltimore narrowly defeated San Francisco by a score of 34-31 last Sunday.
I hate you, Siri. That's right, but narrowly. I like the narrowly.
Yeah, it was a close game.
That was nice. So she put that in, and it's got the quarter-by-quarter results. That's pretty good. So you can ask it questions. You should try questions that like that could be answered. And a lot of times what Siri will do if she doesn't understand is send you to Wolfram Alpha. So, and there's a broad variety of things you can ask Wolfram Alpha.
Yes.
Like, let me see if...
In fact, a lot of that, the computational stuff is all run through Wolfram.
How many bushels of corn are consumed each year in the United States? I don't know if she'd know that.
Let me think.
She's thinking.
Would you like me to search the web for how many bushels of
so that's
corn are consumed
what you'll
in
often
the
get is...
United States?
And what's impressive is she got the question exactly right. The dictation worked perfectly.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really like about Siri, and it's one of the reasons I do use it for dictation. So she's now searching the web, and she'll just pull up Safari with that as a Google search.
Now, see, you're kind of like, those are very creative.
By the way,
questions.
64.3 billion, wait a minute.
Bushels of corn?
I thought I had the answer. It varies from year to year, but the recent averages are 12.5 to 13 billion bushels a year. Now, I don't know why Siri couldn't have found that answer and told me, and I bet you she has the capability. It's just something Apple has not yet really implemented.
Probably. Yeah, because it's, I mean, she sent you right there. It's obviously she's pulling up the information.
Right.
Brian, I think that, and we don't know exactly what you're traveling for. You said that you were in Haiti and that you travel with your iPad all the time. I mean, it's got to be good for...
What's the weather like in Port-au-Prince?
Looks like nice weather coming up in Port-au-Prince, Haiti through Tuesday. Up to 90 degrees and partly sunny.
That's a very useful thing, I think. Stuff like that. The problem I have is it sometimes takes longer to do that than it would just to tap a couple of buttons. That one's a good one where if you don't have Port-au-Prince entered into your weather app, that's faster.
Right, right. Yeah. I like Siri, but I do find I use it for specific things kind of exclusively. Yeah. It's when I need to be fairly hands-free or when I'm crunching numbers and I feel lazy enough to not crunch them in my own brain. So hopefully that at least gets you started, Brian. And if other people have some fun Siri alternatives that we haven't discussed, please do. Write us at iPadtoday@twit.tv. That's where you can write us with all of your feedback, your app ideas, your videos, your questions, your comments. Sometimes you're a little angry with us. Sometimes you say that we just go on and on about the stupidest stuff. That's all fine. Don't worry. I'm your punching bag.
Now I'm glad I don't read my email.
Yeah, you don't want anything to do with it. Write us at iPadtoday@twit.tv. You can also leave us a voicemail. Got some voicemails this week, so thanks to everybody who called in. 757-504-IPAD is our voicemail number. Or you can send us a video, like Brian did, and ask us anything, or tell us a story, or any of that good stuff. You noticed that I wasn't going to say anything, but Brian did the right side up iPhone thing that nobody's supposed to do anymore. You know, where it's cut off on either side. It's like the faux pas of videos.
You mean he shot it in portrait mode?
Right.
Yeah, I hate that.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I just did. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah,
I loved your THX.
I thought it worked
though.
fine.
I thought it worked just fine. You know, you wanna send us a video in
Vine
upright
makes you
mode?
do that, by the way.
Go for it.
Vine does not have
Vine
a
actually
mode.
is going to get people, if they use
Starting
it
to
enough.
shoot sideways.
And so we should all hate Vine that much more.
That's
Vine's going to ruin video on the internet as we know it. So thanks for nothing, Twitter.
Let me ask Siri. I'm going to ask Siri this. Where can I get some fine jewelry for Sarah this Valentine's Day? Maybe she'll know about ice.com.
I didn't find any events with Sarah for next Thursday.
See, she's not that bright.
No. But she doesn't, what are you saying? Fine jewelry.
Fine jewelry at ice.com at 25% off, just in time for Valentine's Day. You have a little bit more time. February 12th is a cutoff if you want a guaranteed delivery by February 14th. That's pretty good. Our friends at ICE have put together a special offer for our Twit audience. 25% almost everything at ice.com. By the way, ICE, look at some of this beautiful jewelry. ICE has a range of items from very affordable to, you could get your engagement ring there. They have gorgeous stuff. There's no minimum purchase required, however. You get the shipping free, and it's guaranteed delivery by Valentine's Day if you place your order by February 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You like those earrings? Those are the 1-carat morganite and diamond 10K pink gold earrings. Normally $225. The ICE price for Twit listeners, $186. Isn't that nice?
Little diamonds.
Ooh, how do you like that? That's an emerald.
Oh, I love it.
Diamond 10K white gold ring. It is only, well, normally $295 for our Twit family, $221 after applying the 25% discount. Lots of nice things at ice.com/iPad today. Go there right now to get your 25% off. And look at some beautiful jewelry. I know this show, you know, we have probably as many women watching as men. But on many of our other Twitch shows, there's a preponderance of guys who are a little baffled, frankly. The Valentine's Day is coming. And I know, you know, just speaking as a guy.
You mean baffled, like, what do I do? What do I get her? What do women want?
Women,
that sort of thing?
This is a broad generalization, but in general, women know how to buy gifts.
Uh-huh.
And men just, you know, we get there and we freeze. Because the one thing you don't want to buy is something where she goes, oh, that's nice. And then puts it in the box and never wears it again.
Uh-huh.
And frankly, that happens to me all the time. So ICE is nice because
it's sort of a safe bet, the jewelry.
Jewelry is pretty much, and you know, she can return it and get something else she likes. But jewelry, you know, nobody ever said, oh, you got me an emerald ring. Oh,
you got me diamond earrings that are classic and will never go out of style.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't mind that.
Of course not.
ice.com/iPad today, 25% off. But you got to do it, guys, by February 12th, 2 days before Valentine's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern, to get that free shipping and guaranteed delivery and 25% off. Find your stud. That must be for the women. On ice.com.
Thanks, Ice. Hey, so it's time for a little App Cap Award time.
I'm ready, Sarah.
Speaking of diamonds.
That's from Nola.
We're beautiful like diamonds. What is going on?
My ears are too big for the show.
They're so big.
They're so gigantic. That's Oswald.
Oh, I love it.
Oswald's the new... I didn't know this, but Glenn Rubenstein brought this back from Disneyland, and apparently Oswald... I didn't know any of this, but he tells me that Oswald was Walt Disney's first creation before Mickey Mouse.
No kidding.
They lost the rights to it, and Disney just got the rights back. So now Oswald's the next big thing at Disneyland.
Oh, I love it.
Don't you love those ears?
It's very cute. That's more mousy. Well, bunny, I guess. I love them.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on the next Star Wars movie.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's weird.
Oswald is a rabbit, the lucky rabbit. And there he is. You see, it says on the front there, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oh, looks just like Mickey, but with the big
Yeah.
ears.
So all he did is he put gloves on him and made the ears shorter, and then he had Mickey.
Well, I love it. That's great. So this is my App Cap Award of the week. I mentioned earlier in the show that I had something that was music related, kind of going to bring it back to our original theme. And I said it was one of like rock and roll's greatest heroes. And it is, particularly, I
bought this too, I have to say.
A place in my heart for Mr. John Lennon, maybe above all other musicians. And this is an app called the John Lennon Letters. And it's so interesting that in a way, I'm almost kind of weirded out reading all of this stuff, because these are private correspondences between John Lennon and a variety of people over his life, from when he was a kid to when he was in the Beatles, you know, sending postcards to Ringo, to when he was going through. Loved, like, what a funny talker.
Yeah.
To you know, to sort of legal letters back and forth to the McCartneys and getting upset about stuff, you know, and Richard Starr. I mean, it's
some of this stuff is leaked out. There was a book, and we've heard about some of the things he wrote, but to actually experience this, and this is multimedia too, right?
Yeah, it's really neat. So this is you can look at the app a variety of different ways. So right now it's the chronology view. So we've got early years. You know, this is like a postcard that he wrote to an
Dear
aunt.
Mimi.
You know, and if you're interested in something and you click on it, you get information that he sent this to his dad in September 1967, and then you can read it full.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Now you might be like, well, why would you want to? You know, this is for John Lennon fans, Beatles fans, but particularly John Lennon. I mean, this is not going to be interesting if you're not interested in the guy himself. So you've got chronology, or you can click through by recipients, like from associates, other Beatles.
Wow, look at that.
His family.
Neat.
You know, stuff that he sent to fans. This is stuff that has been collected over the years, to friends, to lovers, that sort of thing. Themes is very interesting because John Lennon, you know, as everyone knows, that, you know, that Yoko Ono is often blamed for breaking up the Beatles, and there were fights between Paul McCartney and John Lennon of whose name should be first on some of the collaborative songs, and there were legal battles with a variety of people, and he gets really emo about certain things. I mean, he writes these, you know, sort of angry emails to people about this or that, and sometimes it's, you know, about the Beatles collection, and sometimes it's, you know, not even really about any of that. It's kind of insane. And that's why I read this and I think, gosh, am I even supposed to be reading all of this? But it's fascinating.
This was all released by Yoko, probably, I would guess, yeah.
Yeah, she was the one who signed off on this. And in fact, if you go back to kind of the home area, there's a little foreword by Yoko Ono who's thanking, what's his name? I want to make sure I get his name right, Hunter Davies, for putting this all together. Right. He was sort of the person who, the biographer and the writer, and he helped put this all together. And he actually writes this really interesting introduction to what this is all supposed to be about, and why the letters have all been collected in one place. There is some multimedia. As far as the John's letters themselves, most of it is just really easy to, I don't know, you know, just kind of navigate. God, he was so cute. And
he was always cute.
Yeah, he was adorable.
You know, see, was he your favorite Beatle?
He still is.
Yeah.
Well, I did really, I enjoyed the George Harrison two-part biography on HBO so much that I was like,
they were all great.
He was probably the nicest one.
Right.
But John is totally.
John was. I always thought the smart people liked John. Because he was kind of.
He had the most beautiful
challenging.
Voice. Yeah, and he was funny.
Paul had a beautiful voice too, but he was challenging. He was like an intellectual, and so he challenged you a little bit.
So this is, and then there's some like kind of cool app exclusives. So these are actually works that, because the letters have been published previously.
Right.
These are actually things that you never would have seen before.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
I bought it the minute I saw it came out.
Pretty cool
and
stuff.
And do you feel a little voyeuristic reading some of this stuff?
Totally.
It is a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at, you know, especially when you read some of the stuff where he's, you know, upset about something, or he's kind of ranting about something.
We kind of want to understand him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he wrote a little something to Rolling Stone magazine.
It's pretty cool.
Bring it all back. So this app is $8.99. It's not free. It's it's $9.
It's a book. Think of it as a book.
This is absolutely something for fans of John Lennon and the Beatles, and a little look into this person's life.
If you're a fan, you gotta get it.
You gotta get it. Yeah, it was very very touching.
Now my app is very strange. It's a game.
All right.
It is an editor's pick on iTunes. But now you might say, well, why would you highlight it? Well, because I want you to see the game and decide if you like it. So I think you can see that it's an editor's pick, but until you actually play it, you may not know what it is. It's in the genre of games where there's no instructions, and you just start playing and you figure it out. It's called Little Inferno, and it may be one of the oddest but most compelling games I've ever seen. They do put a warning: do not play with fire on it, because it is a pyromaniac's dream.
Oh.
If you're a fire starter, this probably would be triggering,
okay,
to say the least.
Well, let's hope most of the people watching this show are not pyromaniacs.
Yes.
That would be.
It brings out the pyromaniac in you. Let me start a new game just so you see how it gets you oriented. And then I'm going to go into a game I've been playing for a little bit. I just started playing it today, and I'm really quite enjoying it. The idea is you're going to set things on fire. This is the beginning, and this is the whole game playing surface. It's an oven. It says touch and hold anywhere to make a fire, and it's really very realistic. So you'll see my finger is now fire, and so you do this for a while, and then eventually you get to the instructions. You go, oh, I can burn those. So there go the instructions.
What the heck?
Now I love this, terms and conditions. Oh, well, we got to read those. Drag me. All right, I'll put them up here. There's oh, look, this is cool. We can burn the terms and conditions as well. So much for the terms and conditions. Now this is immediately satisfying.
Yeah.
Oh, and something came out of it, a coin. Ah, well, here's a little bouncing envelope. Let's read this. Congratulations on the legitimate purchase of your brand new Little Inferno Entertainment fireplace. We've lovingly crafted each fireplace to warm your home and your heart. Stay warm in there. We love Miss Nancy. We're going to hear more from Miss Nancy a little bit later on. This is very strange. Let me exit out of it and go to a game that I've been playing a little bit, because it's more fun if you get a little farther along. I'm going to go to the main menu here, and you can save up to 3 games. So I started a new one there. This is going to be the game that I saved. So each of these chimneys is a saved game, and I'll go into it. Now, it's not really a puzzle game. It's kind of hard to describe.
Is it supposed to, is it like stress relief?
Yeah, because they say there's no time limit, there's no rules. So eventually you get a catalog of things you can buy.
Okay.
This is a fun one. Let's buy some popcorn. And you earn coins as you burn things. Batteries are really fun to burn. And we'll burn one of my, a picture from my camera roll. We'll just put that in there. All right, now we're gonna go back here. Now, what's great is these boxes, I just put this popcorn here and I'll set it on, whoops, let's go back. We'll set it on fire and it pops, which is fun. And these little kernels. Now, every once in a while, a spider will come down. You can burn him too, and I know you don't like spiders, so I thought that would be a fun part of this game for you.
Burn it.
You can, let's burn some batteries. That's kind of fun. When the batteries burn, they explode, so that's always a treat. Let's get the, oh, look at that. And when they explode, fun things happen. The popcorn popping. And you can also burn, and this is kind of fun, you can burn old pictures of people that you don't like anymore. Just burn them right up. You can actually take pictures out of your camera roll. Here, we'll take some more pictures at them. You know, I'm really sick, for instance, of this picture of, whoops, let's do this again, of this picture of me and my girlfriend. It didn't work out between us, so I'm just going to burn that. Oh, notice, by the way, you don't get these right away. So you can have express shipment if you want by spending these little coupons here that you earn over time. Well, there's a spider. Let's burn him. And you see I gained some coins from popping the corn. All right, watch it. Here's a picture of some kittens. I didn't really want kittens in this game, so I'm gonna, hey, all right.
Oh my gosh, you love this.
This is such a great game. Now, there's
drunk with power.
Yeah, drunk with power. There's also combinations, for instance, and you learn these over time. They don't tell you. I can get a pirate and some bicycle here. Let me get some more popcorn. Oh, I got, see, it's mailbox. Please dispose some of your belongings before ordering more. Sorry, I got too excited. It's got some really great little sense of humor in here. So let me, oh yeah, there's that picture of me and my girlfriend. I really want to burn that.
Yeah, you guys, she was
she was a nasty, nasty person.
Terrible.
Here we go. Here's the pirate. Here's the bicycle. Let's put the bicycle in our little oven. Set that on fire. Come on.
Oh, it's going to take a while because the tires.
It's some stuff, it's harder to burn. Put the pirate in there, too. Oh, and because that's a combination, I get a little one of those. I don't know what it is. Let's put the battery in here. It'll explode.
This maybe is a good game for pyromaniacs. Just get it out
Get it out of your system.
And don't actually burn down the neighborhood.
So I've discovered the bike pirate combo, but there are other combos. Now, don't look, because it's going to spoil the game for you. I just gave you one for free. You have to learn them over time. But anyway, as you learn the combos, it's kind of fun. There's another person with another oven who every once in a while sends you messages and says things like, send me something, send me some fireflies or whatever. I don't know what the point of this game is, except that you're burning stuff, and it's fun. This anti-tiki torch is cool. Let me see, I'll burn this spider egg. Now, when you burn the spider egg, I'll speed up the delivery because we don't have all the time in the world, so I'll speed up delivery on all of these. There's the express. So we'll put the spider egg. Watch when you, whoops, let's go back here. When you burn this, well, what do you think will happen when I burn this? Oh my God, there's spiders everywhere. I think part of the goal of this game is to keep these fires going. So it does, if you start to get serious about this, you kind of continue to have to go back here and get more fuel for the fire. You run out of coins, you got to burn more things. There's the child's blocks, I'm going to burn those. We got to keep this fire going. Collect the coins.
Oh, good grief, Leo.
It's not that. I mean, really, there's not that much going on, but it's just, okay, we'll put the blocks on here. These burn nicely. So it's kind of, it's a weird game because you don't really know what the rules are, kind of like hundreds.
But you like it.
But you're kind of having fun burning stuff.
Here's the thing, though.
Is it a little creepy?
Do we think it's worth $5? Because that's how much the app is.
I do.
You like it, yeah.
And it's a boy thing. I don't think, there aren't very many female pyromaniacs.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that actual?
That's a fact.
That's a stat?
It's a stat. And so it may be a boy thing.
I don't really like fire.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of fake fire in an iPad.
Do you want to know what the Freudian theory is on that? I probably shouldn't tell you.
Well, how Freudian is it?
Pretty.
Okay. Maybe we'll save it for the
after show.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a theory why men tend to be pyromaniacs and not women. Anyway, we're going to set this on fire here. And it shoots coins out the top. It's a little bank. So I don't know. Maybe there's more to this as I play it. But basically, that's it. You got a lot of stuff. You buy more stuff, you burn it.
I think this is a meditative stress relief type of a game.
It's a very interesting
in a weird
game.
way.
Well, I do like it that you could take pictures from your album and burn them.
Maybe there's, well.
Do you want me? Here,
no, stop.
No more kitten burning?
No, don't burn any more kittens.
I got lots of great photos I could burn in here. Anyway, it's...
Leo, we've come to the end of our show. It's because you're wearing your Oswald hat. He's drunk with Disney power.
Drunk with Disney power. I don't know. Does Oswald burn things?
Well, he does now.
It does kind of encourage the pyromaniac.
And
look how good that flame is.
It's like you're what Oswald grew up to be.
My ears are getting in the fire.
At one point, you were this cute little bunny.
Yeah, and
now you're sort of this.
I'm a fire
You're
starter.
a pyro rabbit.
It's also fun to burn the spiders.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for this edition of iPad Today.
Put some more kitties on
One
the
of
fire.
us is done. We'll be back here next week. Same time, same place. You're going to be here, right? You better be.
I shall be here, darling.
Yay! Until then, thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week on iPad Today.
Da, da.
Da, 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 da.